Hey lovely sexy hobby people, welcome to today's video. Issue 50, Dungeons & Dragons Adventure. We get some standees with this issue. Right, let's get rid of that. Let's open this up and come on. Right, said Fred. So we can get 3, get a tabaxi and someone else. Right, let's have a look at the magazine. Here we go. Customizing NPCs. Make non-player characters your own by swapping out species and spells or adding magic items and quirks. From sly bandits to haughty knights, brutish thugs to devout priests, humble commoners to spell-weaving archmages. There are numerous non-player characters, NPCs, that Dungeon Masters can use to populate the Forgotten Realms. So, give them a species. The NPC stat blocks found in D&D Adventurers Encounters in the Monster Manual Sourcebook or D&D Beyond don't specify the character species. Your heroes are sure to encounter more than just humans in a realm as vast and diverse as Faerun. Switch out their equipment, give them a backstory, personality or a quirk. Swap their spells and give them magic items. Injuries. Not all wounds heal during the course of an adventure. Roll on the lingering injuries table to determine what long-term effects a character might suffer. In a world chock full of ferocious creatures, scheming villains and perilous environments, the chance of an adventurer sustaining serious injury is unsurprisingly enough very high. Usually this simply factored into the game's damage mechanics where players lose and regain hit points. However, DMs also have the option of introducing long-term injuries whereby party members are afflicted by wounds beyond a combat encounter. DMs can choose when to check for lingering injuries, which are sustained in the following circumstances. When a character takes a critical hit, when a character drops to 0 hit points but isn't killed outright, when a character fails a death saving throw by 5 or more. Wow. I'm so glad our DM doesn't use that at the moment. Right, lingering injuries table. So a D20, lose an eye, lose an arm or a hand, lose a foot or leg, limp, internal injury, broken ribs, large scar, festering wound or minor scar. Injuries as flaws. After rolling on the lingering injuries table, a DM can ignore the mechanical effect and instead make it a role-playing trait for the character. Instead of suffering the effect described for that result, that character gains a new flaw with the same name. It's up to the player to express the lingering injury during play, just like any other flaw, with the potential to gain inspiration when the injury affects the character in a meaningful way. Magical Phenomena Part 3. Sage Advice, Spellcasting 11C. Enchanted springs can be a source of healing and restoration or cause you to sprout donkey's ears or a third eye. As long as the third eye wasn't on my arse, it'd be fine. Picture this scene. You've been travelling for days in a dungeon without any source of water to refill your water skins, or perhaps you're making haste across the wilderness and are desperately in need of a way to wash the road dust from your bones. Ahead, a burbling spring rises up from the ground, possibly collecting in the surrounding area to create an inviting pool. So I grew up near... what were they called? So I grew up in a little Hampshire village and it had water meadows. Literally, I grew up on the edge of the water meadows. They were disused, but one of the ponds that was still there is actually freshwater spring. And you can actually see, if you look, the bottom of the pond is very silty. It's really clear. and you can see the sand bubbling where the water comes up from underneath. And literally that pond flows out, feeds a small stream, which then goes into the larger river. Don't know why I told you that. It's just like talking about springs. The water tasted absolutely divine, you know. I know people worry about you shouldn't drink straight from the thing, but I felt absolutely, and I do still feel that particular spring, 100% safe. As a kid, I've drunk from it many times, and I have even, like, as an adult, if ever I've been back home and taken a walk, you know, I will stop and have a handful of water from it. Spider climb, 2nd level transmutation, greater restoration. Oh, hello. Greater restoration, 5th level abjuration. You imbue a creature you touch with positive energy to undo a debilitating effect. You can reduce the target's exhaustion level by 1 or end one of the following effects of the target. 1 effect that charmed or petrified the target. 1 curse, including the target's attunement to a cursed magic item. Any reduction to 1 of the target's ability scores. 1 effect reducing the target's hit point maximum. I might share this with our bard and see if that would be useful for her. Enchanting spring effects table. So, right, so there's a few different things here. Any creature that touches or drinks the water of this spring feels blessed. Bathing in the spring covers a creature in a glowing coat of golden feathers. While the creature isn't wearing armour, the feathers grant a +1 bonus to their armour class. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, and just various things like that. Bathing in the spring causes a creature's voice to sound sinister for the next 24 hours. For the next 24 hours, the creature's voice grants it advantage on charisma intimidation checks and disadvantages on charisma deception and charisma persuasion checks. So that's a good and bad thing. A creature that touches or drinks the water of this spring grows a set of donkey ears. Excellent, love it. Right, Sorceress Origins, Draconic Bloodline and Clockwork Soul. Your bloodline ties to mighty dragons, or your soul is imbued with supernatural order of Mechanis. This ancestral power is what grants you your magical abilities. The magic that roils and bubbles within a sorcerer might have been awakened by any number of magical sources. We've already outlined a number of potential sorceress origins, including the raw elemental power of storm sorcery, chaotic nature of wild magic, and alien influence of the aberrant mind. Here are 2 more: magical ancestry of a draconic bloodline and the cosmic forces of Mechanis, infusing your essence with order, turning you into a clockwork soul. It's one of those things again. Draconic resilience. So, Draconic Bloodline. Your innate power comes from draconic magic that was mingled with blood of your ancestors. Most often, sorcerers with this origin trace their descent back to a mighty sorcerer of ancient times who had a dragon as a parent or made a bargain with one of these magical creatures. Some of these bloodlines are well established in the world, but most are obscure, and any given sorcerer could be the first of a new bloodline. So, dragon ancestry, and then obviously you've got different colours and different types of metal imbue you with different things. So, like black acid, blue lightning, brass fire, bronze lightning, copper acid, gold fire, green poison, red fire, silver gold, and white gold. Clockwork Soul. As a sorcerer, with this origin, you are suffused with magic arising from the cosmic force of order, becoming part of a vast and glorious system. That power arises from Mechanus, which is a plane of existence shaped entirely by clockwork efficiency. You or someone from your lineage might have become entangled in the machinations of the Modrons, the orderly beings who inhabit Mechanus. Or is it Mechanus or Mechanus? Sorcerous origins: divine, soul, and shadow magic. A gift from the gods or exposure to the Shadowfell could be the spark of your sorcerer's power. You've never once attended a magic class at Blackstaff Tower in Waterdeep, yet somehow you awaken one day with the ability to conjure darkness with a thought. Where did the innate powers come from? We've already explored a number of potential sorcerous origins with new options presented over leaf. So, divine soul. Sometimes the spark of magic that fuels a sorcerer comes from a divine source that glimmers within your soul. Your innate magic might come from a familial connection with a divine being. You might be marked as a servant of the gods, or your birth might align with an ancient prophecy. Starting at first level, divine power guards your destiny. If you fail a saving throw or miss an attack roll, you can roll 2d4 and add it to the total, possibly changing the outcome. Okay, that's a handy thing to have. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish your short or long rest. So, divine magic, shadow magic. As a sorcerer with this origin, your innate magic comes from the shadow itself, Shadowfell itself. You are a creature of shadow, and you might trace your lineage to an entity from that place, or perhaps you were exposed to its fell energy and transformed by it. Right, Law A, locations 16, dragon lairs. The most powerful dragons make their presence felt in the world around them. It's not just the beating of wings, the ominous shadow on the ground, and the portentous inhale before a breath weapon is unleashed that lets adventurers know a dragon is nearby. If a dragon is powerful enough, its influence can manifest itself in other ways. This might alter the very landscape around its lair, resulting in an unusual plant growth, odd terrain, or the sudden appearance of hedge mazes or icy walls. Legendary dragons might create the effects that follow. See Law B Monsters 20 for more of these incredible creatures. Regional effects. Effects that appear around a dragon's lair can involve only minor phenomena. This includes effects such as the appearance of a copper dragon's likeness on stone formations, the bright colours of underwater plants near a bronze dragon's lair, or the crystalline growths common near any gem dragon's lair. Adding such effects helps make a particular dragon's lair feel unique and wondrous. Deceptive reflections. Face in the clouds and starry scenes. Weather changes, water changes, changes to creatures, and dragon magic. Death warning. A dragon is instantly aware of the death of any creature within 1 mile of its lair and can review the last moments of their life as seen through the eyes of the creature. Name alerts. If the dragon's name is spoken within 1 mile of its lair, the dragon instantly knows and hears everything said within 10 feet of that spot for the next 5 minutes. Hook horrors. Law B Monsters 39. Monsters of uncertain origin, hook horrors hunt their subterranean territories with fierce cunning. It's kind of like a cross between a bird and a beetle. Sling their hook. Like other creatures of the Underdark, such as cave fishers and ropers, hook horrors are supernatural monstrosities rather than entirely natural beasts. That is, they are monsters of uncertain origin. Cool. Testing for a champion. Triker was the war chief of the Thunderspear clan before her rival and Kraisir's champion Gormak usurped her position. Despite now being alone in the subterranean tunnels and robbed of the power of her clan, the banished Triker hasn't lost faith. She has a plan to get back her position as war chief, that being to challenge Gormak to ritual combat. Only she cannot fight herself. One among the party will have to do it in her stead, joining her on a journey to the crags to defeat the usurper. Okay, one or more of the adventurers will need to prove themselves worthy to Triker by defeating her in a combat test. So she looks a bit fierce. Prefer that one. Okay, there's a hook beast there. Orc War Chief. So we get a stat block for an Orc War Chief. I'm assuming that is what you're going to be fighting. And then Swarm of Bats. Medium swarm of tiny bats unaligned. Okay. Nice. So you could potentially go rummaging around into the eviscerated entrails of the hook monster. Right, come down. Let's have a look and see what miniatures we get as these 2D standees. Right. That's one. Actually, let's see what we're going to do whilst they're still on the thing, because I find it much easier to peel the backing off in this way. So these are all medium creatures by the look of it. So they all take that round 1-inch stand. Right then. So we get a standee for our Tabaxi. I forget who she is. And we get a Sahorgin. So, our Tabaxi. I forget this character. And then the Sahorgin. I might just change that to that way around. It's better. So yeah, there you go. So some more characters to add to our growing roster of 2D standees. Oh, put that aside. And yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed that and you'll join me in the next video. Alright, take care. See you soon. Bye bye.